All right, so welcome back, guys. So this time I wanted to bring so like I mentioned with the Blackwing deck, I'm building these decks mainly for either myself for fun to play with my friends or for my friends who are interested in those archetypes. So this is another one for one of my friends down in Texas who's really obsessed with Blue Eyes because we used to watch the anime on TV back in the day. So he's a huge Kaiba fan, and I mean they've had an evolutionary process over the years, right? They had the first like major support because they were never really competitive with stuff like Lord of D and the Flute of Summoning Dragons way back in the day. But then they came out with that Maiden and the Blue Eyes Maiden, and also the what was it like was that the time of Dragon Shrine and Azurai's Silver Dragon and Silver's Cry? I think that was the first round of them, and then you started to get stuff like the Melody of Awakening Dragon and Return of the Dragon Lords. And then Whitestone of Legend was also with the Blue Eyes Maiden and everything. And then you got stuff like the Whitestone of Ancients and the Dragon Spirit of White. Very good. But then with this most recent support, I actually picked up, I think, one or two of the Dictator of D's. Very good card. And somehow, someway, I'll get myself a Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. Very expensive card. He is so good. I thought, oh man, he's not that good, actually. Holy crap. There was a time in which he saved my ass because of his first effect. Other cards you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So I'm going to real quickly go through this because my Blackwing video took way too freaking long. Side deck is just to take care of mainly Red Eyes, Dark Dragoon, stuff like that. Especially if they're running like branded Albaz stuff. So have to run 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. I like to run 3 alternatives as well because of the ability to be using them for fusion materials. Get a free special summon. You can always ditch it for a trade-in or ditch it for a Melody of Awakening if you see fit. But it is super good to be able to just summon it, pop something, pop a monster. What is it? Just pop a monster, right? And then you can just go into a Synchro, a Fusion, or an X-Seed. A lot of times I'll be going into an X-Seed with this guy. Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, he's basically a free special summon from your hand or from the grave, so I really like to be able to send him to the grave. So I've got the Dragon Shrine. Also, trade him in. Like, add him to your hand because he's a searchable target with Melody of the Awakening Dragon, and then trade him in. Put him in the grave, and then anytime any card on the field during either player's turn is destroyed, he'll special summon himself. But the ability to have other cards I control not be destroyed by card effects, so freaking good. And then when he attacks, let me see. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles, you can target one card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Holy crap! That's amazing! Bye-bye Slifer, or bye-bye anything that can be targeted. It's so good. So many times I've used that. The Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon, super expensive card, but he's pretty good. I may even consider running a Polymerization deck. This is one of the least, I would say, complete decks that I have, but I mean, it fucking rocks. So that's the reason why I keep it in here. I keep this up and I'm actually doing a video on it, is because it is super amazing, but it is subject to change based on if I see anything in the near future that is basically before December. If anything comes up that meets my fancy, I'll probably incorporate it. But this guy helps me be able to bring like Chaos Form. It's another trade-in target basically. And also at the end phase, what is it? You could, where is it? During your end phase, you can add 1 level 8 or higher dragon monster from your deck to your hand. So when he hits the field, because of something, maybe like he got special summoned with this, or he got special summoned due to Whitestone of Ancients effect, and then you're able to bring the Chaos Form to your hand, and then the end phase hits, right? So at the same time, you're going to be able to bring your Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. I like only running one of him, just because that's my preference. Some people don't like running any of them. Some people like running multiple of them. I found that one ritual and one ritual spell, one monster and one spell, are actually really good for this deck. I run one of this guy. I've had 2 of him before, but I really didn't want there to be 45 cards, and I like everything else in here. But he's really good because he can help to banish some of the back row. He's a really good target for the Whitestone of Ancients at the end phase. Nebula Dragon will run 3 of them because almost everything in here can just be special summoned as a result of Nebula Dragon. All of these guys, except for the alternative White Dragon and the Ritual Monster, they the level 8, right? It has to be level 8. But it's really good for me being able to bank off of the Piercing the Darkness, so I really like Nebula Dragon in here. Now, just be warned, when you use his effect, you cannot normal or special summon monsters for the rest of this turn. For the rest of this turn. So just do it first. Don't be an idiot. Go ahead and take care of Dictator of D first, because after you use Nebula Dragon's effect, it's only light and dark dragons for the rest of this turn. So, unfortunately, some of these extra deck monsters, like these two guys right here, are no longer targets for summoning. But that's okay. He's definitely worth having. Dictator of D, when you control a Blue Eyes monster, you can choose the attack target. Oh, I forgot about that. But basically, I like to be able to, what is it? You send one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand or deck to the grave. Do it from the deck. Come on, let's be reasonable. Special summon him. Then I can discard one Blue Eyes White Dragon or one card that mentions it, target a Blue Eyes in the grave, and special summon it. So another way of utilizing Piercing the Darkness. Okay, Whitestone of Ancients, discard it. You can also send it, I guess, if you want with Dragon Shrine. But I like to discard it a lot of times for Melody of the Awakening. And at the end phase, then you get a special summon one of your dragons, basically. Banish this card from the grave. Oh, that's another ability. You can banish so that from the grave, so that way I can bring like an alternative white back to my hand to then be able to reveal a Blue Eyes in my hand and then special summon it for free. But he's very good. Special summon one Blue Eyes monster from your deck. So I like to be able to go after either the Jet or the Abyss. Every now and then I will also go after the Dragon Spirit of White because he's always treated as a Blue Eyes card. But it depends on what the situation calls for. Whitestone Legend, I only run one of him. He's usually the second target for my Dragon Shrine after I do a normal monster like the Dragon Spirit of White. And then I will do Whitestone Legend because, I don't know. I like Dragon Shrine, but you don't need more than 2 of them. And you can only activate it once per turn. Anyway, Melody of Awakening Dragon, you got to run 3 of these. So freaking good. You can discard any card. So you got a dead card sitting in your hand, and then you want to pull. Almost all of these guys here are targets for it, with the exception of the Nebula Dragon, Dragon Spirit of White, and this. So these 7, 8 cards, those are all targets. So that's really freaking good. And then the Bingo Machine Go. I only run one of them because a lot of times I can bring it to my field for free with True Light. It's also so fucking expensive. Why is this card so expensive? It's not that good. That's the reason why I only run one. But you can obviously see what its effect is right there. You can either, what was it? Reveal 3 cards that each meet at least. I typically am going after like True Lights and other stuff to be able to bring it to my hand, or maybe Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. They will choose one of the cards and then add it to your hand. I used to have 3 True Lights, so that way they could only choose True Light. But nah, True Light. It's good, but you don't want 3 of them because you never want to have 2 of them in your hand at the same time. So that's the thing. Although you could always, I guess, discard it due to Melody of Awakening. Chaos Form. It's just to be able to summon Chaos Max. It's nice that I can use a Blue Eyes White Dragon that's in the grave. Remember, Alternative counts as Blue Eyes White Dragon when he's in the grave. Does he not? I believe he is. While it is on the field or in the grave. So yeah, hell yeah. Ultimate Fusion. Holy crap, the number of times that this has come in clutch. Now, it's not like Cyberload Fusion or whatever the fuck the equivalence for Cyber Dragons is. It can only be activated in the main phase. However, you can use up stuff like Alternative White Dragon, Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then for Tyrant Burst, I think it's any of them. It doesn't really matter. But it is so freaking good. Oh, shit, I skipped some cards. I'll come back to them in a little bit. But it is so freaking good to be able to have a fusion summon, especially whenever it came in clutch when I was using Alternative Ultimate Dragon or Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate. That was so incredibly good. And then obviously it's a target for a True Light. You can activate it on your opponent's turn, set Ultimate Fusion from your deck, and then you activate it on your turn when it comes around, right? Because by that time you can actually activate it. So Chaos Max Dragon, double piercing, and it can't be targeted by card effects or destroyed. That's why I like it. Fusion Deployment. The reason why I decided to run 3 of these, even though it is a little bit limiting in what you can summon, now you're limited to fusions, is because Piercing the Darkness. You want to be summoning Blue Eyes every turn during your opponent's turn with like True Light or Silver's Cry or whatever else could summon it during your opponent's turn. I think that's pretty well it, but doesn't matter. The point is you want to be able to draw as much as possible. True Light's continuous, so you can just keep doing it during your opponent's turn and then use it up on your turn to go into stuff and then do it again. Draw, draw, draw. I really like this for that reason. Also, the number of times that my fusion monsters... Let me see. You can draw 1 card. When an attack is declared involving an opponent's monster and a monster you control that is a level 5 or higher normal monster, or was ritual summoned using a normal monster, or was fusion, synchro, or exceed summoned using a normal monster's material, you can make that monster you control gain attack equal to the opponent's monster's attack. Holy shit! that will help you get over shit, like a Dragoon. Because that's one of the few ways that you can actually get that motherfucker out of there. And it'll gain attack equal to the opponent's monster attack. Not the original attack. The actual attack that it sits on the field at. So that's extremely good. That's the reason why I run the fusion deployment. You bring it from your deck to your field. Boom. Immediately get a draw card. I really like it. You can modify this to whatever number, maybe even 0 if you're really not jiving with this card. But Return of the Dragon Lords, you gotta use 3 of these. It's not once per turn, dude. It's not freaking... How is this card not once per turn? It's so good! And then obviously its abilities to be able to banish itself to save your monsters by battle or card effect when they're being destroyed. That's also extremely good. Trade-in, you gotta run 3 trade-ins. So good. Dragon Shrine, it's practically a Foolish Burial, sometimes a double Foolish Burial for dragons. Melody of Awakening, I've already explained it. Silver's Cry, oh, yeah. Using the 2 Silver's Cry in this deck to be able to reborn on your opponent's turn to get the free draw from Pierce in the Darkness. I did have it at 1, and then I realized, oh, I've got Pierce in the Darkness. I should be running 2 of these things. It's so good. You can bring back your Blue Eyes White Dragon and your Dragon Spirit of White. But you can only activate one once per turn, so... Typically, I'm doing it on my opponent's turn. Normally. So, yeah. I really like it, though. It's pretty good. And it's cheap, obviously. Pierce in the Darkness is also a very cheap card. I've explained the ability to gain draw power. I actually also... No, I do not use this, I think, in my Dark Magician deck. I was thinking about using it in another deck, and I'm like, no, really, only the Blue Eyes deck is the most effective use of it. And then True Light, I've already explained. It's a shittier version, in my opinion, of Eternal Soul, because it only says that your Blue Eyes White Dragon, your opponent cannot target it. The card effects. It's not that it's unaffected like the Eternal Soul, unfortunately. But it is like Eternal Soul in that you can special summon that monster, you know, the Blue Eyes White Dragon in this case, from the hand or grave. And then it's slightly different. You set it directly from your deck to the field, the card that lists Blue Eyes White Dragon in its text. So you've got cards like Ultimate Fusion, Callous Form, and Bingo Machine Go. That's it. If you wanted to add other stuff in here, you can. But honestly, this is the right combination for me. And then these guys, his ability to be able to pop so much shit, especially if you used Alternative White Dragon as a material. I'm not going to go too much into him, except that he cannot be targeted or destroyed by opponents' card effects. Don't go activating a Dark Hole, for Pete's sake. You will destroy him. It's only your opponent's card effects. And then Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate. I've only summoned him once, I think. So, well, once, and I actually pulled off his effect properly. The first time I ever did, I was like, oh shit, I have to control no other cards. But he can just keep banishing. What is it? You send one Blue Eyes Fusion monster from the extra deck to the grave, and he can attack again in a row. It's not on a monster. So he can attack directly 3 times if you needed to. Obviously, 2 times would be enough. But I've used it to get over 3 of my opponent's monsters, and at 45, 45, 45, that was enough to whittle him down to nothingness. Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon, I like him because he can be contact fused. Also, it's a good way to get over the Dragoon, because he can't be destroyed by battle, and if the monster that he attacks did not go to the grave during that battle, you banish. So it doesn't target or destroy. That's really freaking good. And then Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, he can attack all monsters your opponent controls. He's also unaffected by trap effects. And then once per turn, at the end of the damage step of this card battled, you can target one trap in your grave, set it to your spell trap zone. I'm typically going after the True Light, but I almost never summon this guy unless I want to really get that True Light back onto the field. And then Silver Dragon, you probably already know Silver Dragon's effect. You know, he's really good for that special summon. And then Spirit Dragon, the abilities to negate shit in the grave. And then also he's a Pendulum Stopper. He's a Rekindling Stopper. He's a Soul Charge Stopper. He's a Machine Duplication Stopper. He's really good. But thankfully he's gone down in price. Okay, so I run the Tachyon. Mainly just so I can summon Full Armor Photon. And then also Cypher Blade. So that's pop 1 face-up card, pop any card. And that's the main reason that I run Tachyon. But I also run him, I think, because of Dragalubian. So I can also use him and then put... you just need to read Dragalubian's effect. Another card that you need to read the effect. Just like Nebula Dragon, it says for the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon other monsters or declare an attack, except with the special summon monster. It's for the rest of the turn. So if you want to do this in main phase 2, attack with a shit ton of monsters to inflict maximum damage. And then in main phase 2, special summon Dragalubian to then take a Tachyon Dragon and a Hope Harbinger, put Hope Harbinger on top of Tachyon, and end it with that, so that way you can negate spells during your opponent's turn. That's the right play to do, okay? And then you've got this guy, because he doesn't target or destroy. It just says send one. If this card is special summon, you can activate it, send one card your opponent controls it. So it's another way to get rid of Dragoon. This guy, he's a good way to open up. Open up with a on the first turn to be able to stop monster effects, basically. So he doesn't, I don't think, get to destroy, because if this card has a photon card as a material, it cannot be destroyed by the yeah. So that's basically it. So I almost never summon him though. And the Numon Dragon, the reason why this guy's like a $10 card is because I many a times pumped his attack up to like 17,000 and then OTK. That's basically it. Okay, moving on to the duels now. Oh, that was a lot better than last time. But I've got more replays. Or just slightly more. So here we go. This is a perfect example. So I was going against the AI again because I like to be able to have a speedy opponent that actually knows what they're doing. They're programmed. So that way I'm not like waiting around forever to try to like capture this shit. But I've got Pierce in the Darkness, and I've got a Blue Eyes in my hand, Bingo Machine Go, and Return of the Dragon Lord. So I'm going to try to start making shit happen. Yeah, I'm very skeptical. So that's the reason why I always do that. And there's the Jet Dragon. There you go. So that's basically the idea behind it. I'm a very skeptical person. That's the reason why I went all out with full armor and then Cypher Blade. But you can see the advantage that you get with Pierce in the Darkness. You have to run 3 of them, otherwise there's really no point in running any at all. But the ability to be able to discard shit for like Melody of the Awakening, stuff that's dead in your hand, that's very useful, so that's the reason why I still like it. And then the ability to attack over stuff with a Fusion Synchro or Xe monster that utilized a normal monster, it's so good for that bonus attack that you would get. Oh, this was back when I was still running the Cards of Consonance, but I've since taken that out because it's not as advantageous as I thought it would be. So as you saw, when I destroyed something because of the alternative White Dragon's effect, the Blue Eyes Jet Dragon came from the grave himself. He resurrected himself. That's how powerful he is. That's the reason why you want him in the grave as soon as possible. He's really good for the trade-in or the Melody of Awakening discard targets because it doesn't hurt the fact that he's in the grave. And then, obviously, if you use his effect to be able to pop multiple shit, then you cannot attack that same turn. But now he can't be targeted or destroyed by card effect, so the ABC Dragon Buster or whatever cannot banish him. And that's all he can do. So that's basically it. I mean, there was really nothing else that he could have done, so. Like, this is a really terrible opening hand, but I try to make something out of nothing. Here we go. And that's basically the only reason why I kept this, is because you can see what the fusion monster can do. And this was against Red Eyes Dragoon. So obviously he's going to negate keep me from replenishing my hand. God damn it. So one thing I would like to point out, so I may actually end up adding him back in, but the Galactic Spiral Dragon, he's another trade-in target, and he can actually special summon himself for free from the hand or the grave if I control 2 or more light and or dark dragon monsters. So he actually is, I might put him back in my side deck. Like I said, this is still a work in progress, but he is super nice to be able to, he sucks when you open up with him usually, because you have to wait till you have dragons on the field. But the fact that it doesn't discriminate, that has to be like level 8. So even if you have like one of the tuners on the field, that counts as one of the light dragons that will get him onto the field eventually. And then there you go. That's how you just attack over him, basically, with the Newmon Dragon. You just have to bait him into negating something, and then you go big. Go big or go home. The same thing with the Photon Galaxy deck. That deck will really be able to attack over your opponent, so you don't even have to worry about who's going to have the bigger axe. God damn it. There you go. I mean, there's an advantage in whittling down your life points in order to get advantage like this. And there's severe drawbacks as well. So you can just summon this big guy. He won't be able to negate it and destroy it because, well, I mean, I just attacked. That's all. Oh, these fucking guys. I hate these guys. The familiars. Annoying as shit. Yeah, remember, Tyrant Dragon can attack all of them. That's the reason why he's like a $4 to $5 card, is because he does have that benefit. But honestly, I thought that this guy, Tyrant Burst Dragon, I think it was a Tyrant Burst Dragon. They're just like making up all sorts of shit that tries to include into archetypes. But I forget what this one is. Oh, this annoying ass deck. God, it's so annoying. Keeps replenishing. God damn it. Thank God for Jet Dragon. Like, you obviously saw that I was able to save this guy because I just removed from play the Return of the Dragon. That's why it's really good. Oh my God, fuck off. And then, remember when he attacks, he can send one thing back to the fucking hand. But you gotta get this shit out of here. ASAP. This is another one. This card's name is always treated as a... Man, fuck this shit. It's annoying. Another Dragoon. Of course. God damn it. Yeah, put the Jet Dragon in the grave as soon as possible. Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh! Ah. There you go. Fuck off. That's the reason why I love being able to so easily summon 3,000 beaters. And they're all level 8s as well. So that's pretty well it. Going back to the deck. There's obviously a work in progress. It needs to be shored up a bit. But I really like where it is right now. And I'll just see as time goes along until December when I take this down to my friend in Texas. Whether or not it's any good. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you all in the next deck profile. See ya.